Hello everybody, I'm SJM. Welcome back to Vault Hunters. As promised, I did forget to, or as anticipated, I forgot a couple of things in the first video, so we're stopping here at level 10 for a quick video tips and tricks number 2 video for everybody there. So we'll do this while I get my first knowledge star made and pick up my first piece of research, which, as I mentioned earlier, is going to be pouches and the associated upgrades needed for that. But the one big thing that I did forget in the first one was the vial there. So when you're making the vial, you want to make this one that recharges every 5 minutes in the early game, because the other one that you can make in the early game recharges every 150 mob kills, and I don't think I've ever killed more than 150 mobs in any individual. Yeah, so in 7 vaults I've only killed 370 mobs, right? So you're never going to be the only time that your vial will refill is when you're actually coming out of the vault. You can't use this outside of the vault either, so that's just something to note there for the game. My other thing that I forgot was to talk about the picks and vault tools setup. So with your chromatic iron pick that they ask you to make, you want to obviously have this one being silk touch, and this way you can carry all of the ores out and use a fortune pick on them later, because if you get a big, and especially when you get into the later vaults, if you get a big mine room or something like that and you end up getting over a stack of any one of these gems, then having the ore form is a lot easier, especially when you get up into the higher levels of fortune. And then I just use a vanilla diamond pickaxe here. I don't even have unbreaking on this one, because the mending and breaking the ores and whatnot will keep it healed up. It's down right now because I did mine up a bunch of vault stone just to get the shards so that I could make more vault rocks, but that's what happened there. That's why that one's down on durability at all, is because I used it to mine up a bunch of vault stone for the chipped rock thing. The other thing I wanted to touch on a little bit there was the what's going to be happening here now that I am level 10. Obviously, if you're looking at the quest book, you're going to be getting a new type of vault, which is the elixir vaults, which are a really cool addition. I really do enjoy those. The few that I did in the original, or in my test playthrough there, and that was they're a little bit harder, but they just reward you for overall doing everything in the vault. You just kind of want to watch the little balls that come out of each activity that you do. If you're opening a chest or breaking a chest, some chests are going to be worth more than others, and it's always random, so you kind of want to see from vault to vault what you want to be doing in any of those vaults, right? There's one. I guess I got to make the other one here because I didn't want to autofill. With that rejuvenation totem, I figured out the best way to be using this guy is you don't want to drop this in your first point of interest that you go in when you're already on full health, because it does have a fairly large cooldown, 60 seconds, so you're only going to be getting about one of these per room to put down. But you can even do something like activate a couple, 2 or 3 different points of interest if the room permits it, and then bring them all into there and fight inside the circle this guy gives to keep you healing up, or fight off 2 or 3 points of interest. Maybe you're down 4 or 5 hearts, and then use it on the next one. It's really good at the mining points of interest too, because those ones usually take quite a while to be able to finish up on there as well. Some of the mods that you're looking to get on your gear, I prefer health is probably the biggest one to give you more hearts overall, but you do want to be paying attention to your implicits. So that's the top line there, you know, above the prefixes and the suffixes. Having the higher piece there is a lot better, especially with re-rolling. You don't want to be doing a lot of the re-rolling in the early game, but you might want to do a little bit there to get some of the more desirable mods that I'm going to talk about here. So armor and health obviously are the couple of the big ones, but item quantity is actually I'd actually even put it above overall armor in the first 20 levels anyways. Once you start getting above level up into the 25s, and so you want to kind of focus a little bit more on some defenses there. So you know, mana and knockback resistance, and mana regeneration is probably a good one, not a bad one to go for at all. But yeah, the main ones you kind of want to look at for, like I said, health, item quantity. Item rarity is not so huge right now, but that might be something that you want to look at when you're into the latter parts of the game for sure. Now that I've got my pouches, I've got a piece of dye here. We can do different things with the pouches with dye schemes here. So you can make the whole thing purple, and you can give it a yellow trim. And obviously, yeah, changing these around would give me a yellow one with a purple trim. Why doesn't it want to give me a purple trim? Maybe it's there and I just can't see it, but kind of like the look of this one there. We can put that in our hotbar slot there, and then access it at any time with B. The things that you definitely want to do with the pouches is you want to set up the memory settings in here. So once you're in a vault and you want to set this up, especially with this pickup upgrade. This is the biggest thing that makes the pouches your #1 choice, because combined with the affinities on your vault tools, which let you insta-break the chests and get the loot out of it without having to, you know, open it up, look at what's inside, it's so on and so forth. You can just, you know, whack away at it. It'll break it really easily, and then the pickup upgrade will filter it into your pouches as you need to. And then you can set up the memory slots with this, and then you know, select all slots. Whatever is in there will stay memorized. And then the other thing you would want to do is to set up the pickup. Yes, when you have the pickup upgrade, you want to match backpack contents. That way only the things that are in the that are in the pouch will go in there. And if you go in there with nothing in there, then when things go into your inventory, you can open them up in there. The default hotkey is B, and then you can also in your inventory hit B to open up another pouch when you're hovering over it. So multiple pouches, you know, not only needed for the early game, because there's so many of them out there. You'll need you to be able to get to the next stage, like getting the double pouch. You need 2 pouches, right, to make a double pouch. So you're probably going to be making quite a few of these over the course of the game. So just something to keep in mind there. There's also a hotkey that you'll want to set up for your magnet, so that when you're trying to give things to your vault altar that you can. So I just have it set up there where I can turn it off and on. especially if you're like in the vault somewhere and you want to kind of, you know, empty your inventory out to be able to pick up something important that you find and you're not actually on a chest because you auto broke it with your tool affinity thing. You want to have that on a hotkey so that you can, you know, dump some garbage out of your inventory to pick up the more important thing there. The next thing to talk about are the animal pens. I had to go and get rabbits because I didn't get any rabbit hide in any of my early vaults there, my first 7 vaults. In my test world playthrough, I ended up with like 14 or 13 rabbit hides or something, so it's going to be pretty variable for sure. Yeah, and so I probably could have gotten these pouches going a little bit earlier. It would have been tight on the silk. But the reason why I waited so long was for the for my expertise, picking up that second level of fortunate for the, you know, the Fortune 5 with the diamond pickaxe there, because it's got 3 on it there, and then plus 2 levels from that fortunate ability. So that's the main reason why I held off until level 10 just to get my first mod going. And let's see, I probably, no, I'm short on knowledge essence to be able to pick up a second knowledge at this point here, but yeah, that's there. Just note that these hamburgers, in this update now, you can actually upgrade these directly. So it's not a mistake to actually make your burgers as you're going if you want to kind of save on inventory space in there. So if you just do the uses on there, if you add you can add a piece of cheese and you'll get the upgraded version on the cheeseburger. So I've kind of I save all mine for right now unless I want to really hit a break point. But you know, I've never been close enough where I thought I needed to, so I made the 1, got the 10 free from the quest, and that's been it from there. So here, as we get to level 10, we're going to get that one. We're going to go into our first elixir vault, and we'll get introduction to the god altars. I've only so far found 3 Idona altars, which is kind of funny because I also got a Tenos idol at the 4th altar that I've found. I haven't gotten any blessings yet, but that's just fine here. And this is actually a pretty decent altar, but I still do kind of prefer having that shield for that extra, you know, 10% block chance is definitely nothing to sneeze at. It's proccing quite a bit, and I've even gotten a couple of hits off with the thorns. So overall, kind of still prefer the shields over the idols, but maybe if you get some good mods on your idols, that's going to be something to look forward to. Last thing to talk about, I guess, is that in between level 10 and, or, you know, as we get up into level 10, you're going to notice a big uptick in the health of the mobs. The damage doesn't go up so much, a little bit, but you're going to start seeing more mobs pop out of the spawners, and they're going to have quite a bit more health than before. So for that reason, in my first playthrough, I had 2 points in speed and 0 points in strength, and this time I'm kind of balancing them out a little bit and sunking the 4 into strength here, because obviously that's given us, like I mentioned in the first video, a lot of extra damage. In the last vault I was in, the level 9, I was still one-tapping 90% of the mobs. There's just a couple that survived even, you know, when doing a crit with this. It's not super good axe. My prefix attack damage roll isn't very good there, but my implicit roll is actually really good on all. Well, the attack range isn't that great, but I've also got the poison cloud on this, which is going with my next point there, is you want to start figuring out a quote-unquote build for moving forward. How are you going to handle the mobs? How are you going to be looting in the vault. So there's lots of different directions that you can go in here, and that's, you know, combining your abilities and your talents and sometimes even your expertises. No, I don't think any of the expertises really apply to any of the in vault things there, but also, you know, maybe no, I don't think any of the knowledge really applies. Maybe some of the alchemy. This is something that I want to check out because I haven't seen anybody do any of this yet, but you'll have an alchemy table and you'll be able to upgrade your vault potions to do different things to give you different abilities as well. So another thing to consider there. So just, you know, look at some of these, you know, working alongside your Nova skill, or um, working alongside your javelin, or helping you fight with against different mob types. I'd probably steer clear of any masteries too early because you're gonna find that the nether mobs are really tricky, or really beefy, or really give you a problem. But you might find that later on that it's, you know, maybe not, they're not so bad because you can ignore them or not even bother going into the trying to complete a vault if you end up in another one because of just other factors that come into play when you're in those. Oh yeah, I forgot to enchant my new vault with that guy, so I'll be doing that next round, I guess. I was supposed to put that on that vault for my first level 10 vault, but that's fine. We're not too concerned about it. Looks like during my next round I'm gonna have to go to the nether anyways so that I can get some netherrack, because I don't have any abandoned or ruined portals nearby me here that I remember. No, there's not. There might be one sticking out in the water somewhere, but that would be the closest one there, which is 650. That's not too far. I might have to go down there rather than going to the nether, because the less I have to be in the nether, the better for me. Anyways, I'm starting to ramble now, but I've covered everything that I wanted to cover here. I hope you enjoyed. Oh, the last thing I wanted to cover. So on my iron pick, I've got the Gilded, Ornate, and Living affinities there. I will be making a Vault Axe eventually when I find a Coin Affinity one, and I'll have Coin Affinity and Wooden Affinity. I'm kind of on the fence on Wooden Affinity, to be quite honest with you, because the wooden chests a lot of the time, they're not grouped together very well, and they take quite a while to break. So a lot of the time you're better off just opening the wooden chests and looting them that way. Although, and the other thing, yeah, the wooden chests do contain a lot of garbage too, right? You're going to end up with tons of sticks, tons of torches, a whole bunch of bread, and other stuff that maybe you don't really want clogging up your inventory. Especially with, I don't think I have enough to get the stack upgrades in there yet, but the tier 1s aren't super helpful because they only give you the 2 stacks, which if you're in a vault and you're going to be getting a lot more than 2 stacks of sticks and 2 stacks of torches and stuff like that quite easily if you're doing any decent number of chests. But yeah, that's my options for doing those ones. Just haven't found a Coin Affinity one yet. You don't really want your Coin Affinity on your pickaxe because it's really, really fast when you start going through that, and there you'll end up breaking, you know, the block beneath it. So with that, you've got 2 options. You could make a sickle, which is just like a shear, and that won't break the blocks beneath it, but you kind of want to have an axe when you're in the vaults because sometimes you need to break wooden blocks in there. Might not be bad to put shoveling on that axe along with the Coin Affinity as well. But there you're going to be getting into the problem where you'll be breaking the blocks beneath the coins quite often, because a lot of the times coins are on sand or wooden blocks as well. So kind of have to take that for what it is, I guess. And yeah, hope that helped you out a little bit with the, getting into the moving on with the mod pack. And yeah, appreciate you all for checking out the video, and we will see you in the next one.